Let's see what happens. Hello everyone, today we have a video that is on the interview I was able to conduct at the Hasbro New York Toy Fair 2019. I did try to ask a ton of questions. Before I continue, actually, 1,000 likes is our like goal, so if we can hit that, maybe you'll see something, maybe you won't, but try to ask a lot of questions. You'll see in the whole video everything that was talked about. It was very interesting to say the least, and there's something I'll mention after because obviously I talked about, whatever you see there is all the public conversation I had. There's some other stuff I talked on the side, but I'll give my thoughts after we see this.
Behind you on the wall, we've got, we've got our single packs, we've got our dual packs, and then our starter pack as well. One of the fun things we were able to do with singles and with duals was create some of our own custom Hasbro biz. And so that's when you'll see, Cyclops, you'll see some redeco versions of Gaianon and Ouroboros. Yeah. And then over here as well, you'll see, Ogre, Kraken, and then doing some cool redecos of Istros and Diomedes as well.
So these were HASBRO exclusives, but originally they were TAKARA TOMY designs?
Yeah, we worked in partnership with TAKARA TOMY on the designs. And then we do have our spring and our fall battle set. And then obviously we've got our standalone spring stadium here as well.
Can you see the other way as well?
Yeah. So at the other side, I want to see. Whoa, very big.
$49.99.
$49.99. Yeah. So definitely a big box. Great impression. We had a lot of fun with the design of that front. Almost takes on like a comic booky manga style package on the front hand side to show that full action of the Slingshock rails.
Very good.
It's good.
And then we mentioned the Ripfire. We've got Achilles and Fornius new to that this year, as well as the Riptide Blast set, which is the shark launch that you're playing with, accompanied by a really cool redeco of Fornius. Yeah. So if I slide this over there, you can shoot it all together.
Yeah. So that's Fornius, as you can see, very nice too.
Beautiful. And then we've got some all-new SwitchStrike as well.
Yeah.
2019, which we've done some really cool new redecos, and then some bays that we hadn't been able to do before. So
yeah, like Orichalcum and Amaterios, which it's not here, but well, it's in the display. But
yeah, we're excited to be able to do those two because they're kind of like legendary bays that we want to make sure we got into our lineup.
Is there like a Gold Genius, isn't it, as well?
There's a Gold Genius, but it's in the
Gold
display.
Genius?
It's in the display.
Genius is there as well.
So, are there going to be more bays that will be coming out but just aren't here at the moment, or is this what we can expect for all of 2019?
Yeah, I think there are some bays, probably in the later waves of each one of these SKUs that aren't actually ready yet from a production standpoint.
Sure.
So, there will probably be a few more that you see here, but this is representative of most of the line.
Yeah, we've seen most of these. Some are new, like the Achilles. I also noticed the Zutron, and I also know there's another Treptune one, because there was a little bit of... Not that one. There's another one they did. So this is Asteroid Zutron, right? Yep. So the original Zutron that you did, it didn't actually have the right gimmick to it, but I saw with this one, it's a little bit different of a design, but it actually has the gimmicks from the original SwitchStrike would have. Yeah, that's one of the things we always try and do is, again, stay true to the TAKARA TOMY products as much as we can, and so we can add those gimmicks in. We love to add the additional features to the biz. Yeah, so what I usually say is that we're probably not going to get it right away, but usually later down the line. I do have some questions. Sure. Because obviously we're not going to get everything right off the bat, but what was it? Noctimus and Strike Valtrex. So Strike Valtrex doesn't actually have like the lock-in gimmick it had in the anime, but it also didn't have Ultimate Reboot. Now, even if we don't get the lair, could we possibly see Ultimate Reboots? We always, look back at stuff that had yet to be in the line and consider it for future SKUs. So there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Yeah, because I was gonna. The main thing is Ultimate Reboot. And for Noctimus, Hasbro never released, to my knowledge, was it the 3 and the hit frame that was on it? Right. Correct. So maybe sometime in the future. It doesn't have to be, right now. Just. We definitely we take all feedback from our biggest fans and definitely look to design something that you guys are excited to play with. Yeah, so there is some other stuff. Obviously, I know probably it's not going to happen right away with how it works, but So obviously there is a balance done for these turbo bays, since they in the anime and obviously in the original product they would have metal. You changed it to where it's plastic, and for a balance, I'm guessing, so the bays aren't too overpowered. Even if it's with the select few bays, is it a possibility, even if it's limited for the line, that we could possibly see like a Valtryek that has metal, like Achilles that actually has the metal on the layer?
Yeah, so again, we do always, again, look to consider putting metal on each one of the layers. Our big new feature, though, for 2019 is Slingshock.
Yeah.
And so sort of the vast majority of like the tech and the innovation are in those performance tips.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see that kind of bringing true the primary feature for Slingshock in 19.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, because there are bays that are like SwitchStrike, which like Orichalcum, where that it doesn't have slingshot gimmick, so that's why the Octa actually has the metal on it. So could we maybe see, even if it's not this year, if it's maybe late this year, maybe SwitchStrike, like let's say SwitchStrike Achilles A4 or whatever, and that actually has maybe the metal for it?
It's called the Hyperblades from the past.
sorry?
Hyperblades from the past.
Oh,
Because what happened in the past is like Metal Fury was limited at the start, and then after they did a line that was later on where it actually had like the full gimmicks and everything.
Right.
So a lot of people have been asking for that specifically.
Yep.
And I'm all right if it's just, even if it's just for a few bays, as long as we get it. I'm not asking for random variations, because the one thing I will say is that with these bays, I like the experimental colors. I like some of the stuff looks really nice.
Glad to hear that.
And
What do you think about the Hasbro specific bays that we've done?
I think they have very unique designs. The old one we've seen in Evolution, which is just a re-release with a theme on it, but a lot of people have liked it. I like it too. I think it's good to have a mix between this stuff and other explosives and other experimental stuff.
Yep.
I was also going to ask, there's probably some other specific stuff.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you a bay. All right, so we have some questions and we're going to ask them. Level chips. So I have seen in the app, I've seen in the websites that was showing a teaser image for that set where the bays look like they have the level chips.
Yep.
Even if it's in like some sort of sets, 2-pack, 3-pack, 4-pack, whatever, are we going to be able to see level chips?
So I can't confirm whether or not we will officially see level chips. I mean, it's something that we have looked at in the past.
All right.
Again, it's feedback that we've gotten from our fans, and it's always something that we kind of have in the back of the hopper as a potential add-on to future bays.
Sure. All right. So layer, right? So obviously there's plastic, whatever, but I was wondering on the gimmick for it, because it's supposed to have, even if it's just plastic, it's supposed to have the gimmick from R3 where like the little wings pop out. So I'm wondering, maybe, it can be a different color. Possibly, couldn't we get a re-release like we've seen with Asteroid Zutron, whatever the new Trep2 might be called? Maybe.
Right. And I can't sort of speak to what future product is going to be. That's not on display here.
All right.
But showing gimmicks, SwitchStrike features as we call them in our markets, are something that we're always looking to incorporate.
All right, stay tuned for SwitchStrike then. Let me see, what else can we say? World Championship, is it going to be
November 2nd in Japan.
So 2018 was all about
Evolution.
World Championship and Evolution and SwitchStrike, and we loved having all of our markets get behind big national events, and then obviously ultimately the World Championship, and it was great to crown Latvia as the 2018 World Champion. 2019 is going to be all about the Battle League, and so we're trying to make Beyblade become more accessible than sort of it ever has before, and create a variety of battle leagues, both physical and digital, around the world.
Because I noticed there was a video talking about like a France battle league.
Yeah, so it's stores and certain store level. Actually, I saw already.
So in some of our larger markets, there will still be larger national events, and so France is doing some really cool stuff in terms of smaller events that can then qualify for the national championship. And so our goal is obviously always physical events. We love to get as many bays in as many kids' hands as possible. Physically battle. But when we can't, we think the Battle League is a tremendous asset and a really good complement to the physical play. In the app right now, I know that you're a player, but we have 622 million battles since the app began in fall of 2016, and we actually have 23 million unique users. So it's something that we continue to put a tremendous amount of our resources in to act as a complement to the physical product.
Yeah, all right.
So there's only like championship on each country, but there's no world championship in Japan.
It's still undefined at this point.
Undefined, all right.
I think it's November 2nd. My prediction.
He gets all these theories.
In Japan, so it's just needs to qualify for the Asia Cup that is in May.
Correct.
So to be the championship, the Asia Cup being outside Japan means they're probably going to do it.
We always look to partner with them whenever we can on larger events.
All right, let me see. So let me see, because I'll probably ask them later. So you've released bays like Amaterios A3 and Ori Calcum 03. Might we see, eventually, possibly, the original Amaterios in Baldor? Because I remember Micros had, was it Materios and Baldorov?
Did.
We saw micros, but
I know. I'm impressed that you remember that.
we know.
Possibly, even if it's like a 2-pack?
I think there's always a chance. We continue to look at sort of the catalog of available bays that TT has worked on.
Yeah.
And we look to, again, introduce them whenever possible in our line.
So I'm assuming with Turbo, at the start it's going to be a lot more of this Slingshock stuff, and I'm guessing for the fans later on they might see a lot more of these SwitchStrike bays, where the bays might have maybe some things or some part they've asked for eventually.
Yeah, so that'll be sort of reserved for the SwitchStrike specific SKU.
Yeah, so I guess that would make sense. So if anybody doesn't like Slingshock bays, you wait for the SwitchStrike. All right, so in regards to like palm performance tips, I know HASBRO might have not done it in the past, but I'm just wondering if at least like friction or even yielding, which was on, what was it, Jaeger Yggdrasil and Revive Phoenix, are we going to at least see maybe like a normal mold of what the actual performance tip would be later on? Maybe?
So, again, we always look back at the catalog of available parts that we do have to us, and I know that yielding was one from season 1. And so when we work with the design and development team, and then in partnership with TAKARA TOMY, we look at all those parts and pieces and how they might factor into creating a new bay. So I won't say no, and I'll say that it's always a possibility.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So with Revive Phoenix P4 in the anime, there's the regular red one, and then after there's the black variation where it's like it's evil and whatever. So I noticed with Achilles A4, you did like a black variation. So I'm sure a lot of fans, even if there's no metal or whatever, would really love just to see like a black HASBRO Revive Phoenix P4.
Yes. So what I can say is that, you know, much like what we were talking about, Genesis Valtryek and then Strike Valtryek, anytime that there are multiple versions or sort of evolved versions of bays throughout the course of the animation season, we look to try and make those updates. So I can't confirm, but I can tell you that anytime there are multiple versions, we always look to try and honor that in the physical tops.
All right. So in Japan, there's the Beyblade Burst game in Japanese for the Nintendo Switch. So I was asking if we're ever going to see a port of that in English or...
So we definitely always look for opportunities, and we definitely see that Nintendo Switch game as a potential opportunity. Right now, our primary focus is within the app, and we know we've got a tremendous amount of traction with the fan community, and we'll continue to sort of pump in robust updates into that to continue to make that be sort of the best app that it can be, and continue to grow the user base and really build that sense of community within the app, and we'll see that happen with the Battle League this year.
So we've seen the Rail Rush stadium, we've seen the blue Rail Rush, and we've seen a green one. So HASBRO, I would say, is doing pretty good for the stadiums, and there's a lot of experiments with it. So will we be seeing any more possibly this year, or will we maybe seeing next year, like anything specific, or is there going to be more gimmicks that focus on the rails and riding it?
So for 2019, we're Slingshock focused, and so our 3 primary stadiums are obviously the basic base stadium, Rail Rush, and the cross closing battle set. There is always an opportunity for a stadium to potentially drop, later in the year, and we always entertain those ideas, and it could potentially be something that you would see on the show.
So I actually have the original Amazon listing, so I'll ask a question, either it's yes, no, or maybe, so use that information as you will. Okay, so there's Aegis A4 and the Quitico Q4 2-pack. So Slingshock, obviously, right?
Yes. So all of our dual packs, our starter packs, and our single packs have Slingshock.
All right. So with Aegis A4, there's a specific gimmick that's also in the anime. It's called Quest. It's a little suction cup. Please tell me there's a suction cup.
You're gonna have to wait and see.
Wait and see. All right, I'm waiting for that one. Morigna M4. Morigna or?
Morigna, yeah.
Morigna.
Yeah, so that's one of the Hasbro specific bays.
All right, I can never pronounce it. All right, so there you go. Let's see, because Fafnir F4. So I'm assuming that Fafnir F4, you know, Japanese one, there's a gimmick where the thing is like a little dragon crush thing when it absorbs it.
Yep.
So obviously it'll have the rubber probably, and I'm assuming the whole thing will be, the rest will be plastic if there's any parts where there would be metal, right?
Yeah. We, again, typically look to match TT wherever we can.
Yeah.
And when we're unable to, that's when we make that transition from the die-cast to the plastic.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, because with Absorb, it's like the Nothing driver, just a little bit different and bulkier. So
Yep.
is it going to be absorbed for the Fafnir, or will it be absorbed, but it might be a little bit different from what you usually see?
I mean, knowing that it's a part of the Slingshock SKU, we do have to take some liberties with it, knowing that it does need that transforming capability.
Yeah.
And so it'll be sort of inspired by, if you will.
Yeah, because I would be guessing that, you know, if Fafnir has the thing that like pushes on the thing, I would guess maybe the Slingshot gimmick might be something like Leopard's Destroy, where even though there's like a little hole thing or whatever for it, it'll extend and it'll go flat, and that's the...
Here's the proof frame on the Fafnir.
Oh, so Excalius X4
Yep.
in the anime has Dagger, and Fafnir F4 in the anime has a proof frame. So I'm assuming, and also Rocktavor didn't get the Reach frame, so I'm assuming future releases will probably have the frame for it, and we won't see it in like base launch for the stuff, right?
Yeah, we always try and include as many frames as possible.
Yeah, so usually it just takes a while, because I noticed with the new Treptune and the new Zootron, it actually has the right parts that the TAKARA TOMY would have, so
Yep.
I'm assuming, you know, later releases, whenever it may be, we'll probably get the regular part for it.
Yep, and again, it's always our goal to stay as true to the TT product as possible.
Yeah, all right. Gargoyle G4.
Yes.
Is anything... I don't...
Gargoyle is from 0G, the name.
It's 0G. I was just going to ask
Yeah.
you, any inspiration from it, or...
So Gargoyle, all I can say is...
Cool.
A warrior?
It's a Hasbro specific bag.
All right. Ninth K4, we know what it is, but Slingshock, right?
Knight K4, yes, will be Slingshock.
Okay, so then no metal, but will it have the expand frame? Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, maybe. Future release, possibly. Ballora B4?
Yep,
Hasbro exclusive.
Hasbro exclusive.
So probably single? Yeah, it's single.
Yes, single pack.
Let me see if there's anything else. That's really loud.
I know it is.
Achilles A5, Slingshock, which either way, like, there's not really that many differences, and I'm just wondering, because we saw in the app that Valtryek V5 was a SwitchStrike, Achilles and also Spryzen, whenever that's released,
Yep.
they basically have the same premise for the gimmick, so
Right.
I'm wondering if Achilles will have the gimmick, or will Achilles not have the burst stopper gimmick, or is that just like, you wait, yes, maybe, no.
Gotta be a wait and see.
Wait and see, all right. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, Dead Phoenix P4.
Yes.
Okay, so the original Revive Phoenix
Yep.
has no metal on it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Dead Phoenix, what TAKARA TOMY did is that when the armor is off, it's plastic. So is
Yep.
Dead Phoenix gonna maybe do what Excalius X4 did and have some metal on the armor possibly?
I will say maybe.
Maybe, all right. So that's also Slingshock, right?
Correct.
All right. That's kind of it. I mean, most of it's already been answered. The rest of it's just probably just later down the line. So I'm guessing most of 2019 will be Slingshock with the occasional maybe SwitchStrike,
Yep.
or like an experimental asteroid Zootron, or whatever the new Treptune's going to be called.
Yep.
And we can maybe assume through 2020 then that we might see more liberties taken with maybe more SwitchStrike stuff, with maybe still balanced with Slingshock then.
Yeah, I think we always look to introduce new innovation whenever possible.
Yeah.
Slingshock's doing really well for us.
Yeah.
SwitchStrike is also another SKU that we'd love to do. So there's always room for more innovation in 20.
So just a final thing. So obviously you redo some bays eventually.
Yep.
So when you're thinking of redoing a bay, what do you look at specifically? Would you look at how popular it is? Like, what specifically do you look at to redo a bay? Let's say.
We always look at the animation first.
Yeah.
And we want to stay, you know, as true to animation as possible. And so
Yeah.
we kind of look at characters, and we look at sort of like the A class character and the B class character and the C class character, what you guys might be most interested in.
Yeah.
And we sort of make our selection first that way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of try to figure out sort of where it would fit amongst our innovation. Like, would it be a good Slingshock bay?
Yeah.
Would it be a good SwitchStrike bay? So we always
Yeah.
first start with animation to see which bays we sort of initially pull from.
Yeah.
And then from a popularity standpoint, you know, we can look at what's doing really, really well in the Japanese markets.
Yeah.
And then what might translate to our markets as well.
So that's why I made it specifically maybe Rock Tavor might not have the gimmicks, and that's maybe why, because not as popular. But maybe let's say Achilles, maybe might get something like a normal release, I would say, because a lot of people, obviously, it's all marketed towards kids and, you know, older fan base. If they get it, you know, that's
Sure.
also good. But there's a lot of demand, and just maybe the metal someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. All right.
Get to the sales.
Well, because I had the idea that there'd be a Slingshock release, and that's maybe people, you know, can't really get more expensive SwitchStrike.
Yep.
And I would assume even if it's through limited, I think a lot of people would get more SwitchStrike if it was like normal and had the metal and all the gimmicks. Because obviously with the transition, the evolution in the anime, it's supposed to have the metal.
Yep.
And some of these bays, I would say, especially the Hasbro exclusives, have a really sleek design. And I'm sure a lot of fans would be very interested just to see what would happen if maybe it happened. Maybe not Typhon, because that's like a lot of metal you'd have to put.
Right.
Maybe some like other specific bays.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great feedback, and good to hear that you think that there would be demand from the fan community for these bays with diecast on them.
Yeah,
so
especially-
we'll definitely take that back to the team and
Yeah.
see what we can do.
All right, yeah. Also, Skies X4
Yeah.
sword.
Yep. I mean, there's some good diecast. That's right there.
All right, that's all I can get this time. No, because I was just wondering, because X3 with iron and the lair,
Yep.
all metal. With this one specifically, there's metal, but I would just assume maybe SwitchStrike Excalius X4 or whatever they're gonna call it.
Yep.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime that
there's an opportunity to do
metal
it.
is sort of integral to that character that's found in animation.
Okay.
We always try and prioritize that type of metal.
Yeah.
Versus metal on another bay.
Yeah, all right. So for some days, I would say maybe like Rock Tavor, maybe sometime in the future, even if it's just plastic, there might be a re-release. That's kind of it. I'm just, a lot of stuff I can't say right now, but it's just for the moment. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited, I guess, because, you know, there's a lot to be excited for, and, you know, there's a lot of talk and confirmation on this stuff, so I guess stay tuned. So we'd like to thank Hasbro for the opportunity to go to the private showroom and obviously showcase all the new stuff, so thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming. We love you guys coming out every year, and we look forward to seeing you in 20.
Stay tuned then. So, that was a lot to take in. There's probably some other stuff I could have asked too. Whatever I wrote down was on the top of my head for a lot of stuff I was asking for. It seems it's going to be very interesting if we're going to be transitioning from 2019 to 2020 for Beyblade Burst Turbo. I'm very curious to see what they do. And something else I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, but Zankye, you and Cypress are breaking the app's TOS. You should be banned from the internet, banned from the app. How dare you? There's no embargo. Well, my friend, I talked to them. And you know what's the best part? Come closer. Come a little bit closer. That's too much. A little back. All right. Me and Cypress are doing everything right. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? You want to say something? Can you believe that?
I knew already.
Yeah, so for anyone that says my inside source or Zankye made it up,
Embargo.
there is such a thing that we are doing actually correct. And you might also ask, okay, but if you're doing this, why are you still doing the gameplay? I also asked, are we still able to do the gameplay? We still can do the gameplay. Now, of course, you can either do one of two things. You either take my word for it, since I was the only one who went to the New York Toy Fair and talked to a professional that worked with the Hasbro Beyblade team, or you can take some Yutz's opinion with no actual evidence for it. So do with this as you will. But in regards to the other stuff, I will give my full thoughts on the future of Turbo. This video is probably already going to be very long as it is, so that's why I don't want to really pointlessly make it 30 minutes. I think this was pretty fair for how much we're able to do. If there's any clarification, I'll see if I can answer it in the comments section below. Whatever I record is whatever could be answered, but that's it for now. Comment what you are most excited for. Comment if you have concerns. Comment if you're excited. I do want to get a lot of input for this video for specific reasons. We have a like goal. I more just want to see the comments than I do actually want to see beat the like goal. Especially too, even if it's just like a paragraph, I will take my time to actually read it. I'll try to see if there's really something that's critical for Turbo or there's thoughts for something. I'll try to pin it. Obviously, let's try to keep the comment section safe, so don't do war with other people, don't attack others. I'm saying that even though people are going to do it, you know what I mean? Just keep it on the clear, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you have not an awesome day, but an amazing day.